20 years. That's how long I kept my son's phone in a drawer, battery dead, screen dark, a relic from 2004 that I couldn't bear to throw away. But last Tuesday, at 3:47 in the morning, that phone rang. Not buzzed, not vibrated. It rang with a sound I hadn't heard in 2 decades, my son's ringtone, the one he'd programmed himself. I woke up in my empty house in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, heart hammering, and followed that impossible sound to the kitchen drawer. The screen glowed blue in the darkness, and the caller ID made my blood run cold. Mom, don't answer yet. My son died in 2004. I buried him myself. But that phone was receiving a call, and I was about to discover that everything I'd believed about his death was a lie. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments below. I want to know who else out there understands what it's like when the past refuses to stay buried. My name is Robert Kellerman. I'm 68 years old, retired postal worker, widower for 12 years, father to one son who I buried when he was 23 years old. Marcus, that was his name. Marcus Allen Kellerman. Smart kid, full ride to Iowa State for computer science, graduated top of his class in 2003. Had job offers from Microsoft, IBM, all the big companies. But Marcus chose different. He took a position with a small cybersecurity firm in Des Moines called Sentinel Digital. Said he wanted to do important work, not just make money. That was Marcus. Always had a conscience that wouldn't let him rest. The last time I saw my son was October 14th, 2004. He came home for Sunday dinner, my wife Sarah's pot roast, the one Marcus loved since he was 6 years old. He seemed distracted that night, kept checking his phone, typing messages under the table when he thought we weren't looking. Sarah asked him what was wrong. He said nothing, just work stress. New project, big client, long hours. We believed him. Why wouldn't we? 3 days later, October 17th, 2004, 2 Iowa State Patrol officers knocked on my door. Mr. Kellerman, there's been an accident. Your son's vehicle left the road on Highway 30, west of Ames. Single car collision. No survivors. I remember the floor tilting. Sarah's scream. The officers' mouths moving but no sound reaching my ears. They said Marcus had been driving late at night, missed a curve, went into a ravine. The car caught fire. The body was badly burned, identified through dental records. Closed casket funeral. We buried him on October 23, 2004. Oak Hill Cemetery, Cedar Rapids. Plot 247. Section C. Sarah picked out the headstone. Gray granite with an eagle, Marcus's favorite bird. Marcus Allen Kellerman, 1981 to 2004. Beloved son, brilliant mind, gone too soon. I visited that grave every week for 20 years. Every single week. Talked to my boy, told him about my life, about how his mother passed in 2012, about how the world kept spinning even though it should have stopped when he died. After the funeral, I packed up Marcus's apartment. The lease had 6 months left, but the landlord was understanding. I boxed everything, clothes, books, his desktop computer that I didn't know how to turn on, his degrees and certificates, framed photos of him and Sarah. And his phone, a Nokia 6600, the fancy kind with the camera and internet. The battery had died. I found the charger, thought about powering it up, but couldn't. Seeing his messages, his photos, his whole digital life, it felt like grave rubbing. So I wrapped the phone in a soft cloth, put it in the kitchen drawer with Sarah's good silverware, and tried to forget it existed. 20 years. I became good at forgetting, good at functioning. Retired from the Postal Service in 2015 after 38 years. Sold the big house, bought a small ranch home on the east side. Made peace with being alone. Joined a woodworking club, volunteered at the library, lived the quiet life of a man whose best years were behind him. Marcus's phone stayed in that drawer through one move, through Sarah's death, through 2 decades of Thanksgivings and Christmases and birthdays Marcus would never see. The battery had been dead since 2004. No charger would even fit it anymore. The technology was obsolete. So when that phone rang at 3:47 a.m. last Tuesday, I thought I was having a stroke. I was in bed, deep in one of those heavy sleeps old men have, when a sound cut through the darkness. A ringtone. Not my current phone. That's just a generic buzz. This was the Nokia tune, that electronic melody every phone had back in 2004. I sat up, disoriented. The sound was coming from downstairs, from the kitchen. I grabbed my robe, every logical part of my brain insisting this was impossible. All phones don't just turn on. Dead batteries don't resurrect themselves. But my feet carried me down the stairs anyway, following that sound through the dark house like a ghost was calling me home. The kitchen drawer was rattling. I could see the vibration from across the room. Blue light leaked through the crack. I approached slowly, hands shaking as I pulled the drawer open. There, between Sarah's silver cake server and the good napkins, Marcus's Nokia 6600 glowed like it had just come out of the box. The screen showed a call coming in. The caller ID read, "Mom, don't answer yet." My wife had been dead for 12 years. My son had been dead for 20. But that phone was ringing, and somehow it knew things it shouldn't know. I stayed at it, frozen. 4 rings. 5. Then it went to voicemail. The blue light dimmed. The kitchen fell silent. I reached into the drawer with trembling hands and picked up the phone. It was warm. Not just room temperature warm, but body heat warm, like someone had been holding it. The screen showed 1 missed call, 1 new voicemail. The battery indicator showed full charge. Impossible. Completely impossible. This phone hadn't been charged in 20 years. The charger didn't even exist anymore. But there it was, fully powered, fully functional, receiving calls from the dead. I should have called someone. Police, maybe, or my doctor, or my daughter-in-law Jessica, whom Marcus had been dating before he died. But I didn't. Instead, I did what any father would do. I checked the voicemail. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped the phone twice before I figured out the old menu system. Kids these days don't remember. But phones used to have buttons, little rubber keys you had to press multiple times to get 1 letter. It took me 3 tries to enter the voicemail password, assuming Marcus had used his birthday like he used for everything. 0812. The phone accepted it. 1 new message. Received at 3:47 a.m., 2 minutes ago. I pressed play and lifted the phone to my ear. Static first, then breathing. Heavy, labored breathing like someone was in pain or scared or running. Then a voice, distorted, mechanical, like it was coming through water. "Dad, it's me. I know you think I'm dead. I know what they told you. But I'm alive. I've been alive. And they're coming for me again. Check your email. Password is Mom's maiden name plus my birthday. Don't trust anyone. Especially not Sentinel. They are listening. They are always." The message cut off. Dead A. Then the automated voice, end of messages. I stood in my kitchen at 3:53 in the morning, holding a phone that shouldn't work, that had just played me a voicemail from a son I'd buried 20 years ago. The voice was wrong, distorted, but underneath the static and the mechanical quality, I heard something. An inflection. A way of saying dad that Marcus had used since he was 7 years old. A particular emphasis on certain syllables that you can't fake, that you don't even know you're doing. That was my son's voice. I knew it in my bones. The way you know your own heartbeat. The way you recognize your child's cry in a crowded room. Marcus was alive. Well, I was losing my mind, and I needed to know which. I didn't sleep the rest of that night. I sat at my kitchen table, Marcus's phone in front of me, and tried to process what I'd heard. The rational part of my brain, the part that had worked 38 years sorting mail and following procedures, insisted this was a prank. A cruel, sick prank. Someone had found out about Marcus, had somehow powered up his old phone, had used voice manipulation software to mimic him. But who? And why? And how did they get into my house to plug in a phone that didn't have a compatible charger anymore? The other part of my brain, the father part, the part that never stopped grieving, whispered something different. What if it's true? What if Marcus didn't die in that crash? What if he's been alive all this time, hiding, running, needing help? What if I buried an empty box? At 5:30 a.m., I made coffee. Strong, black, the way I'd learned to drink it in the postal service during winter routes. I opened my laptop, the one Marcus had helped me buy back in 2010. Teaching me patiently how to use email and Google. I navigated to my email login page. The message had said to check my email, Password was Mom's maiden name plus my birthday. Sarah's maiden name was Hendricks. Marcus's birthday was August 12th. I typed Hendricks0812. The account opened, but it wasn't my regular email. This was a different interface, darker, more secure looking. At the top, it said, Secure Drop, Anonymous Communication Platform. I'd never seen this before, never created this account. But there it was, logged in under my name, with one unread message. Sent at 3:45 a.m., 2 minutes before the phone call. The subject line, Dad, the truth about October 17th, 2004. My cursor hovered over it. Once I opened this, I couldn't know it. If this was real, my entire understanding of the last 20 years was about to crumble. If it was fake, I was being manipulated by someone who knew too much about my dead son. But I'd spent 20 years wondering if I'd failed Marcus somehow, if I'd missed signs of depression or distraction or danger. I'd spent 20 years carrying guilt that I hadn't protected him. If there was even a chance he was alive, I had to know. I clicked. The email loaded slowly, the way things did on my old rural internet connection. When it finally appeared, I saw a wall of text, single-spaced, no formatting. It began, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for what I put you and Mom through. But I didn't have a choice. If you're reading this, it means they found me again, and I'm out of time. You need to know what really happened. You need to know why I died. I read the whole thing twice, then a third time. By the end, my coffee had gone cold, my hands had gone numb, and my understanding of my son's death had been completely destroyed. The email was long, detailed, filled with technical terms I didn't fully understand but could piece together. It explained that in October 2004, Marcus had been working on a project for Sentinel Digital's biggest client, a company called Helix Analytics. Marcus's job was to secure their database, but while doing routine testing, he'd found something. Hidden files, encrypted, buried deep in directories that shouldn't exist. He'd broken the encryption against protocol because something felt wrong. What he found inside those files destroyed his life, records of a surveillance program. Not government surveillance, corporate surveillance. Helix Analytics was collecting data on millions of Americans, tracking purchases, medical records, phone calls, emails, everything. Then selling that data to anyone who would pay. Insurance companies, political campaigns, foreign governments, criminal organizations. Marcus had evidence. Screenshots, database exports, encrypted files he'd backed up to secure servers. He'd planned to blow the whistle, to take it to journalists, to the FBI. But he'd made one mistake. He'd told his boss at Sentinel Digital, a man named Victor Reese, what he'd found. He thought Reese would help. Instead, Reese had called Helix Analytics, and Helix had decided Marcus Kellerman was a problem that needed to be eliminated. The email explained the accident, staged. The car Marcus was supposedly driving, stolen from an impound lot, VIN numbers filed off, filled with accelerant. The body identified through dental records. Someone else's remains, placed there deliberately. The Iowa State Patrol officers who investigated, 2 of them were on Helix's payroll, making sure the investigation closed quickly, no questions asked. They'd faked Marcus's death, made it look real enough that even his family wouldn't question it. And why? Because dead men don't testify. Dead whistleblowers don't expose corporate crimes. But Marcus hadn't died that night. According to the email, he'd been warned by a friend at Sentinel, a junior programmer named Amy Chen who'd overheard Reese's phone call with Helix. She'd called Marcus hours before the staged accident, told him to run, told him they were coming. Marcus had abandoned his car at a rest stop, hitchhiked to Chicago, and vanished into the underground network of whistleblowers and fugitives who help each other stay hidden. For 20 years, he'd been moving from city to city, using false names, working cash jobs, living in the margins of society. Never calling home, never risking contact that might lead Helix back to him, or worse, to his family. The email ended with this: Dad, I've stayed hidden this long, but they found me 3 days ago. I don't know how, but they know where I am. I'm in Minneapolis now, but I'm leaving tonight. I'm going to try one last thing. I still have the evidence. All of it. hidden on secure servers that even I can barely access anymore. If I can get to it, if I can get it to the right people, maybe I can finally stop running. Maybe I can come home. But if they catch me first, you need to know the truth. You need to know I didn't abandon you. I loved you and Mom every day. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you I was alive. I'm sorry for every birthday I missed, every Christmas, Mom's funeral. I'm sorry for everything. If you're reading this, I'm probably dead. For real this time. But at least you'll know the truth. I love you, Dad. I always did. Marcus. I sat at my kitchen table and cried for the first time since Sarah's funeral. Not quiet tears. Ugly, heaving sobs that shook my chest and made my throat raw. My son had been alive. All those years I'd visited his grave, talked to a headstone, grieved a child who wasn't dead. Marcus had been alive. Hiding. Alone. Unable to come home because coming home meant leading killers to the people he loved. And now, according to this email, he was in danger again. They found him 3 days ago. That was Saturday. Today was Tuesday. 3 days. Was he still alive? Still running? I had Helix caught up with him this time. I wiped my eyes, drank my cold coffee in one bitter gulp, and made a decision. For 20 years, I'd been a retired postal worker, a widower, a man waiting to die so he could join his family. But my family wasn't all dead. My son was out there, somewhere, fighting for his life. And whether I was 68 years old with arthritis and high blood pressure or not, I was going to find him. First, I needed to verify this was real. The email could be elaborate fiction. The phone call could be AI or voice synthesis. I needed proof. The email mentioned Amy Chen, the programmer who'd warned Marcus. If she was real, if she'd worked at Sentinel Digital in 2004, that would be a starting point. I opened Google, typed in Amy Chen Sentinel Digital Des Moines 2004. No results. I tried variations. Amy Chen Programmer Iowa, Amy Chen Cybersecurity Des Moines. Nothing relevant. Either she'd changed her name, left the industry, or never existed. Dead end. I tried another angle. Victor Reese, Marcus's boss. The man who'd allegedly betrayed him. Victor Reese Sentinel Digital. The first result made my stomach drop. Obituary from 2006. Victor Reese, 41, founder and CEO of Sentinel Digital, died in a single-car accident on I-35 near Des Moines. Survived by his wife and 2 children. Services held at. I stopped reading. Single-car accident. 2 years after Marcus's death. Convenient. Too convenient. I kept digging. Found a brief news article from 2006, not about Reese's death, but about Sentinel Digital closing its doors, filing for bankruptcy 6 months after Reese died. Former employees sued for unpaid wages. The whole company had collapsed. And Helix Analytics. I searched for it, expecting nothing. Instead, I found a Fortune 500 company. Helix Analytics Incorporated, headquarters in Boston. CEO Amanda Voss, specializing in consumer insight solutions and data-driven marketing strategies. Their website was slick, professional, full of corporate speak about empowering businesses through information and ethical data practices. They had contract with half the major brands in America, banks, retailers, healthcare companies. They were legitimate, successful, powerful. They were also exactly the kind of company that could make a 23-year-old whistleblower disappear. By 8 a.m., I'd made a decision. I called my neighbor, Tom Patterson, asked him to watch my house and collect my mail. Told him I had a family emergency, needed to leave town for a few days. Tom didn't ask questions. Good neighbor. Then I packed a bag, clothes, medications, Marcus's phone, my laptop, and one more thing. From the closet in my bedroom, I pulled out a lockbox I hadn't opened in 12 years. Inside was Sarah's jewelry, our marriage certificate, and my father's old .38 revolver. World War II vet, died in 1987, left me the gun. I'd never fired it, never even loaded it. But I loaded it now, 6 rounds, and tucked it into my bag. If Marcus was alive and people were hunting him, I wasn't going unarmed. By 9 a.m., I was on the road. Minneapolis was 250 miles north. 4 hours if I kept the speed limit. The email said Marcus had been there 3 days ago, planning to leave. But where would he go? How would I find him? I didn't know. But I had one advantage. I was his father. I knew how he thought. When Marcus was a kid, whenever he got scared or overwhelmed, he'd go to high places. Trees, roofs, the top floor of a library. He'd say it helped him think, helped him see the bigger picture. If Marcus was in Minneapolis and needed to think, to plan, to access secure servers, he'd go somewhere high. Somewhere with internet. Somewhere he could see anyone coming. I drove north on I-35, the same highway where Victor Reese had died in 2006, and tried to piece together what had happened. If the email was real, if Marcus had faked his death and gone underground in 2004, why surface now? Why send that email? Make that phone call? Risk exposure after 20 years of perfect silence? The answer was in the message. They found me 3 days ago. Something had gone wrong. His cover was blown, and he needed help, or he needed to warn me, or both. The northern Iowa landscape rolled past, flat and brown, corn stubble and fields waiting for winter. I thought about Marcus at 23, brilliant kid with a conscience, finding evidence of corporate surveillance and thinking he could fix it, stop it, expose it. Noble, stupid, brave. That was my son. And I thought about Marcus at 43. If he'd made it that far, 2 decades on the run, 2 decades of looking over his shoulder, never aging on my wall of family photos, never there for his mother's last days. What kind of life was that? Was survival without family really living? My phone rang. Not Marcus's Nokia, my regular cell. I glanced at the screen, unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me hit the green button. Hello. Silence. Then breathing. The same heavy breathing from the voicemail. Then that distorted, mechanical voice. Dad, don't go to Minneapolis. It's a trap. They know you got the email. They are watching. Turn around. Go home. Forget you heard from me. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. Marcus, is that really you? It doesn't matter. You need to. The voice cut off. Different voice now. Smooth, professional, male, Mr. Kellerman. This is Security Director Walsh from Helix Analytics. We need to talk about your son. I nearly swerved off the road. Who the hell is this? I told you. Helix Analytics. We're aware you received communication claiming to be from Marcus. I'm calling to inform you that communication is fraudulent. A cruel prank. Your son died in 2004. We have evidence that a hacker group has been targeting families of deceased Sentinel Digital employees, trying to extort money. Don't fall for it. My voice was steel. Then how did you know I got an email? Pause. We monitor for these scams, Mr. Kellerman. We're trying to help. By tapping my email, my phone, get off my line. Mr. Kellerman, if you continue pursuing this, you'll be interfering with an ongoing federal investigation. I strongly advise. I hung up. My heart hammered. They knew. Helix knew I'd gotten the email, knew I was driving north, probably knew exactly where I was right now. The call wasn't a warning. It was intimidation. They wanted me scared, wanted me to turn around, wanted me to believe Marcus was still dead, which meant he wasn't, which meant the email was real, which meant my son was alive, and I was driving straight into whatever trap Helix had set. I should have turned around, should have called the FBI, the news, someone, but I kept driving, because that distorted voice at the beginning of the call, before Walsh took over, had said, "It's a trap. They are watching." That was Marcus. I knew it, and if he was warning me away, it meant he was protecting me, which meant he was still thinking like my son, still trying to keep his family safe even while running for his life. I wasn't turning around, but I wasn't walking into a trap blind, either. At a rest stop near Albert Lee, I pulled over and made a call I never thought I'd make. The number was in my old address book, written in Sarah's handwriting from 2004, Detective Linda Morrison, Iowa State Patrol. She'd been one of the officers who came to my door that night, who told me Marcus was dead. If she was on Helix's payroll like the email claimed, this call would alert them. If she wasn't, maybe I'd find an ally. She answered on the third ring. Morrison. Detective, this is Robert Kellerman, Marcus Kellerman's father. We spoke in 2004 about my son's accident. Long pause. Mr. Kellerman, I remember. I'm so sorry for your loss. What can I do for you? Her voice sounded genuine. Tired, but genuine. I took a gamble. I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Was my son's accident really an accident? Another pause. Longer. Mr. Kellerman, I don't understand the question. Yes, you do. Single car crash, burned body, closed case. Was it real? Sir, I worked that case personally. I saw the scene, the vehicle, the remains. I'm sorry, but your son died in that crash. Why are you asking this now, 20 years later? I heard something in her voice. Not lying, exactly, but careful, rehearsed. Because I got a call last night from Marcus's old phone, and an email explaining that his death was staged by a company called Helix Analytics. And I want to know if you were part of it. Silence. Complete silence. I could hear her breathing, could almost hear her thinking. Then, quietly, Mr. Kellerman, where are you right now? Why? Because if what you're saying is true, if someone contacted you claiming to be Marcus, you're in danger. Helix Analytics they're not a company you want attention from. Please tell me where you are. I'm on my way to find my son. Don't. Please don't. If he's alive, if he's been hiding this long, you showing up will only make it worse. You'll lead them right to him. Then help me. Tell me the truth. Was his death staged? Detective Morrison's voice dropped to barely a whisper. I can't talk about this on an open line. But Mr. Kellerman, if you got communication from someone claiming to be your son, treat it as real until proven otherwise. And watch your back. I can't say more. I'm sorry. She hung up. I stayed at my phone. She hadn't denied it. Hadn't defended the investigation. Hadn't told me I was crazy. She'd warned me. Which meant even law enforcement knew Helix was dangerous, knew Marcus's case wasn't clean, but couldn't or wouldn't do anything about it. I was alone. Just me, my father's revolver, and whatever pieces of the truth I could find in Minneapolis. I got back on the road. The sun was higher now, mid-morning light making everything stark and clear. My phone rang again. Different number. I answered. What? A woman's voice, young, scared. Mr. Kellerman, my name is Amy Chen. I was your son's friend at Sentinel Digital. I'm the one who warned him in 2004. I need to meet you. Today, before you go to Minneapolis. My breath caught. Amy Chen, the programmer from the email. You're real. Yes. And Marcus is in more danger than you know. There's a coffee shop off I-35, exit 88B, called The Morning Grind. I'll be there in 1 hour. Please come alone. And Mr. Kellerman, don't trust anyone who claims to be helping you. Not police, not FBI, not journalists. Helix has people everywhere. She hung up before I could ask questions. Exit 88B was 40 miles ahead, just south of the Minnesota border. The Morning Grind. 1 hour. This could be legitimate. Could be Amy Chen risking her own safety to help me find Marcus. Or it could be Helix setting another trap, using a name from the email to lure me in. But I didn't have better options. I took the exit. The coffee shop was in a small town called Clarion, one of those rural Iowa communities with 3 stoplights and a grain elevator. The Morning Grind occupied a converted gas station, brick building with big windows and a gravel parking lot. I parked around back, out of sight from the road, and sat for 5 minutes watching. 3 other cars in the lot, no suspicious vans or SUVs, no one sitting in vehicles. Could be clean, could be a setup. I grabbed my bag, felt the weight of the revolver inside, and walked in. The coffee shop smelled like espresso and cinnamon rolls, warm and safe, completely at odds with why I was here. A young woman sat alone at a corner table, laptop open, looking up when I entered. Asian, mid-40s, short hair, nervous eyes. She raised a hand slightly. Amy Chen. I bought a coffee at the counter, black, and joined her. Up close, I could see exhaustion in her face, dark circles under her eyes, fingernails bitten to the quick. This woman was terrified. Mr. Kellerman, she said quietly. Thank you for coming. I wasn't sure you would. Are you really Amy Chen? She pulled out a wallet, showed me a driver's license. Amy Chen, Des Moines address from 2004, though the license had expired years ago. Then a photo, her and Marcus, young, maybe 2003, standing in front of a computer lab, both smiling. Marcus's arm around her shoulders. Friend? Girlfriend? I'd never met her, never heard Marcus mention her name. We worked together, she said, seeing my expression. Just friends, but close friends. He trusted me. When I heard Victor Reese on the phone that night, talking about handling the Kellerman situation, I knew Marcus was in danger. I called him, warned him. He left, and I've spent 20 years wondering if I did the right thing. He's alive because of you, I said. That's the right thing. She shook her head. He's been running because of me. Maybe if I'd gone to police instead, if I'd stood with him, we could have exposed Helix together. Instead, he's been alone. Why are you here now? After 20 years. Amy leaned forward, voice dropping to barely audible. Because 3 days ago, Marcus contacted me. First time in 20 years. He sent an encrypted message saying he'd found new evidence, that Helix had expanded their surveillance programs, that it was worse now than in 2004. He said he was going to try to release everything, blow the whistle one final time. I told him not to. I told him he'd be killed. But he said he was tired of running, tired of hiding. He said he wanted to come home. My throat tightened. Where is he? I don't know. He said he was in Minneapolis, said he was going to access the servers where he hid the original evidence, combine it with new data, and send everything to journalists simultaneously. Kill switch, he called it. If Helix came after him, the information would go public automatically. But I haven't heard from him since Sunday. His dead man switch hasn't triggered, which means either he's still alive and working, or they caught him and stopped the switch. Or is waiting for something, I said. For what? For me. That email he sent, the voicemail, he knew I'd come. He knew I'd try to find him. Maybe he needs help. Maybe the switch requires 2 people. I don't know. But I'm going to Minneapolis. Amy's hand shot out, grabbed my wrist. Mr. Kellerman, that's suicide. Helix knows you're coming. That call from their security director? They're tracking you. They'll follow you straight to Marcus. Good, I said. Let them follow me. Let them think I'm the threat. While they are watching me, maybe Marcus can finish what he started. She stared at me. You'd sacrifice yourself for this. Is my son. I've thought he was dead for 20 years. If he's alive, if there's any chance I can help him, I don't care what it costs me. Amy released my wrist, sat back. He said you'd say that. In his message, he said if anything happened to him, I should find you. He said you were the most stubborn man in Iowa, that once you decided something, nothing could change your mind. He was right. Tell me how to find him. She turned her laptop around. On the screen was a map of Minneapolis, downtown area, with one location marked in red. ID's Center. 57-story building, tallest in Minneapolis. 8th floor has a co-working space called Cloud Hub. They offer hourly computer rentals, high-speed internet, anonymity. No ID required if you pay cash. Marcus used to use places like that. He said they were safest because they had strong internet but constant turnover of people. No one remembers faces. You think he's there? It's where I'd go if I needed to access secure servers without leaving a trace. And it's high up. Marcus always liked high places. I smiled despite everything. He did, even as a kid. Amy closed the laptop. Mr. Kellerman, I can't go with you. I have a family now, a daughter, a husband who doesn't know anything about my past. But I can give you something that might help. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small USB drive. This is a copy of everything I saved from Sentinel in 2004. Emails, file directories, communication logs between Victor Reese and Helix. It's not enough to prove Marcus's death was staged, but it's enough to show Helix was dirty. If you find Marcus, if you get his evidence combined with this, maybe you'll have enough. I took the USB drive, closed my fist around it. Thank you, Amy. Don't thank me. Just bring him home alive. I finished my coffee, left $20 on the table though the coffee was $3, and walked back to my truck. The morning had turned cold, clouds rolling in from the north. I had 2 hours to Minneapolis. 2 hours to figure out how to find my son in a city of 500,000 people, in a 57-story building, while being tracked by a corporation that had already killed once to keep their secrets. But I had something Helix didn't expect. I wasn't scared. I wasn't trying to stay hidden. I was a 68-year-old retired postal worker with nothing left to lose. And I was going to find my son, or die trying. I got on I-35 North and didn't stop until I hit the Minneapolis city limits. The ID's center rises out of downtown Minneapolis like a glass and steel monolith, 57 stories of corporate power and money. I parked in a nearby ramp, paid for 3 hours, and walked the 2 blocks in afternoon cold. November in Minnesota bites different than Iowa, sharper, meaner. I pulled my coat tight and tried to look like any other old man going about his business. The building's lobby was massive, marble floors, security desk, people in suits moving with purpose. I found the directory, Cloud Hub, 8th floor. I took the elevator up, surrounded by young professionals staring at their phones. Nobody looked at me twice. Old men are invisible in places like this. Good. The elevator opened onto a sleek hallway. Cloud Hub's entrance had frosted glass doors, a small reception area, and beyond that, an open floor plan with dozens of computer stations. I pushed through the doors. A woman at the desk, mid-20s, nose ring, looked up. Help you. I need to rent a computer station. Few hours. Pay cash. Sure. $25 per hour, 3-hour minimum. I pulled out my wallet, counted $75. She took it, handed me a key card. Station 34, back left corner. Privacy dividers, fast internet, printers if you need them. Let me know if you have issues. I took the card and walked into the main room. 40 stations, maybe 15 occupied. Freelancers, students, people who needed space away from home. The back left corner was isolated, blocked from the main area by shoulder-height dividers. Station 34 was empty, but Station 33, right next to it, had someone sitting there. I couldn't see their face, just the back of their head, light brown hair, hunched over a laptop, typing furiously. I approached slowly, heart in my throat. The person wore a dark hoodie, jeans, looked thin. Could be anyone. Could be Marcus. I walked past Station 33 to Station 34, sat down, powered up the computer. From this angle, I could see the person next to me in profile. Male, mid-40s, glasses, beard. Not Marcus. Disappointment hit me like a wave. I spent 30 minutes at Station 34, pretending to work while scanning the room. Every time someone entered, I looked up. None of them were Marcus. By 3 p.m., I was starting to think Amy's lead was wrong. Maybe Marcus had already left. Maybe he was never here. Maybe. The man at Station 33 stood abruptly, grabbed his laptop, and walked toward the exit. As he passed under the light, I saw his face clearly. Not Marcus, but something made me follow him with my eyes, and I saw him pause at the door, turn, make eye contact with me. Just for a second. Then he mouthed something. Bathroom. 5 minutes. He left. I sat frozen. That wasn't random. That was a message. I stood, walked to the Cloud Hub bathroom, a single occupancy room down a small hallway. I knocked. Occupied, a voice said. The same voice from the voicemail, without the distortion. Marcus's voice. I tried the handle. Locked. Marcus, it's Dad. Open the door. Silence. Then, Dad, you need to leave. They followed you here. I can't. Open the door, son. Now. The lock clicked. The door opened 6 inches. I pushed through. Inside, the man from Station 33 stood with his back against the sink, looking like he might bolt. But the eyes, even behind the glasses, even exhausted and scared, were my son's eyes. Marcus's eyes. 20 years fell away. I saw the 8-year-old who broke his arm falling from a tree, the teenager who rebuilt his first computer, the 23-year-old who graduated top of his class. All of them were in this scared, thin man in a bathroom, hiding from killers. Dad, Marcus whispered. His voice cracked. You shouldn't have come. I crossed the small space and pulled him into a hug. He was stiff at first, resistant, then collapsed against me like a puppet with cut strings. I felt him shaking, felt 20 years of running and fear and loneliness pouring out. I held my son and let him cry. I buried you, I said quietly. I put flowers on your grave every week for 20 years. And you were alive. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you, wanted to call, but they would have found you. Found Mom. I couldn't. Your mother died in 2012. Cancer. She never knew you were alive. Marcus pulled back, tears streaming. No, she can't be. She is. And I didn't get to tell her you were alive because I didn't know. But we don't have time for this now. What did you mean they followed me? He wiped his face, trying to pull himself together. Helix has been tracking you since you got my email. They know you're here. I've been monitoring their communications. They have a team in the building. 4 men. They are waiting for me to leave so they can grab me without witnesses. Then we don't leave through the front door. Dad, there's no other exit from this floor. And even if we get out of the building, they'll follow. I've been running from these people for 20 years. They don't stop. Then we stop them first. You said you had evidence. The original files from 2004 plus new data. Where is it? Marcus hesitated. I uploaded everything to a secure server 2 hours ago. It's set to release to 30 different journalists, the FBI, and 3 foreign news agencies in 48 hours unless I enter a cancel code. Dead man's switch. If Helix kills me, it goes public automatically. But if they grab you alive, force you to give them the cancel code. He nodded. Then they win. The information never goes public, and I disappear for real this time. I thought fast. Engineering problems, Sarah used to say, are just puzzles. You break them down, find the weak point, exploit it. This was an engineering problem. Helix's weak point was their confidence. They thought they had us trapped. They thought we'd panic. Here's what we do, I said. You're going to walk out of this bathroom, go back to your station, and keep working. I'm going back to my station. In 15 minutes, I'm going to make a scene. Loud, disruptive, something that gets security's attention. While everyone's focused on me, you slip out. Take the stairs, not the elevator. I'll meet you at the parking ramp, level 4, section B. My truck. Navy blue Ford F-150. Dad, they'll grab you instead. I'm 68. What are they going to do? Kill an old man in a public building. I'll tell security I'm confused, that I forgot where I parked. They'll escort me out. By then, you will be gone. This is a bad plan. It's the only plan, unless you've got something better. He didn't. We stood in that bathroom, father and son reunited after 20 years, planning escape from corporate assassins. Normal Tuesday afternoon. Mom loved you, I said. Every day. She never stopped. And Marcus, I never blamed you for the accident. I never thought you abandoned us. I just missed you. Every single day. His lip trembled. I missed you too, Dad. Both of you. Every birthday, every Christmas, every time I walked past a hardware store and smelled sawdust. I wanted to come home so badly it hate. Then let's get you home. For real this time. We left the bathroom separately. Marcus went first, back to station 33. I waited 2 minutes, then returned to station 34. I opened Amy's USB drive on the computer, started scrolling through files like I was working. Emails between Victor Reese and Helix executives. Financial transfers. NDA agreements. Nothing that proved Marcus's death was staged, but enough to show Sentinel was daty. I glanced at the clock. 3:47 p.m., same time Marcus's phone had rung last night. Coincidence? No. Marcus had timed it. Sent the email, made the call, at 3:47 a.m. A signal I'd missed until now. I looked at Marcus at the next station. He was staring at his screen, but his hands were still. Waiting. I stood up and knocked over my chair. It crashed to the floor, loud in the quiet space. Everyone looked. Where's my file? I shouted at no one. I saved it right here. Someone stole my file. The receptionist hurried over. Sir, please calm down. What's wrong? My file's gone. I had research, my grandson's school project, hours of work. I was making a scene, waving my arms, confused old man routine. People were standing, watching. Perfect. From the corner of my eye, I saw Marcus slip from his station, move toward the exit. No one noticed. They were all focused on me and my missing file crisis. Marcus reached the door, pushed through. Gone. Security arrived, 2 guards in uniforms. "Sir, we need you to calm down or leave the premises. I'm trying to find my file. I'm not leaving until..." I let them take my arms, let them guide me toward the exit. I was still protesting, still causing a scene, as they escorted me to the elevator. Other guards stayed behind to help search for my file. The elevator ride down was silent except for my muttering about lost work. The guards were professional, patient. At the ground floor, they walked me to the lobby exit. "Sir, maybe you should go home. Get some rest. I need to find my truck. Where did I park? Do you remember which ramp?" "I think, maybe the one on 8th Street. They pointed. "That way. 2 blocks. Do you need us to call someone?" "No, I'm fine. Just getting old." I shuffled away, playing up the elderly confusion. They watched me go, then returned to their posts. I walked 2 blocks, took a left, and entered the parking ramp. Level 4, Section B. My truck sat in the corner, undisturbed. I unlocked it, climbed in, locked the doors, and waited. 5 minutes. 10. Where was Marcus? Had he made it out? Or had Helix grabbed him on the stairs? My hand moved to the glove box where I'd stashed the revolver. If they had my son, I was going to knock on the passenger window. I jumped, hand on the gun. Marcus stood outside, hoodie up, looking over his shoulder. I unlocked the door. He dove in. "Drive. Now." I started the engine, backed out, and headed for the exit. Marcus was low in his seat, watching the mirrors. "Anyone following?" "Not yet, but they will. They've got my face on camera from Cloud Hub. They'll know we were together. They'll track your truck. Then we ditch the truck. Where do we go?" "North. I know a place. Old safe house the network uses. 2 hours from here. Small town called Bemidji. If we can make it there, we can regroup." I paid the parking attendant, pulled into Minneapolis traffic, and drove north. My heart was hammering, hands tight on the wheel. I'd found my son. After 20 years, I'd found him. But we weren't safe yet. Not even close. Marcus pulled out his laptop, typed quickly. "The dead man switch is active. 46 hours until it releases. We need to stay alive that long. Then Helix can't do anything. They kill us. The information goes public. Unless they grab me, torture the cancel code out of me. They've done worse." I glanced at him. "They are not touching you. Not while I'm breathing." He looked at me then, really looked at me. "You got old, Dad." "You didn't. In my head, you were always 23. Frozen in time. But you're 43 now. Middle-aged. I missed all of it. We'll make up for it. After this is over, after Helix is exposed, I can come home. Really come home. We can." Blue lights flashed in my mirror. Police car. Closing fast. My stomach dropped. "Marcus." He turned, saw the lights. "How did they find us this fast?" "Doesn't matter. What do I do?" "Pull over. Let me handle this." I pulled to the curb. The squad car stopped behind us. One officer got out, approached the driver's side. I rolled down the window. "Evening, officer. Problem?" The cop was young, maybe 30, professional expression. "License and registration, please." I handed them over, hands steady. He examined them, glanced at Marcus. "And you, sir?" Marcus reached for his wallet slowly. "Don't have my license on me. Left it at home." The officer's hand moved to his weapon. "Step out of the vehicle. Both of you." Wrong. This felt wrong. Real cops ask for ID, run plates, write tickets. They don't immediately demand you exit the vehicle. I looked at Marcus. He looked back, and I saw the same realization in his eyes. This wasn't a cop. This was Helix. "Now," the officer said. Behind us, I saw the squad car's passenger door open. Second man getting out. They were going to grab us, throw us in the fake squad car, and we'd disappear. The dead man's switch wouldn't matter because they'd force Marcus to cancel it. I made a split-second decision. I stumped the gas. The truck lurched forward, tires squealing. The fake officer jumped back, shouting. Behind us, the squad car's lights started moving. "Chase on, Dad!" What are you doing? Marcus grabbed the dashboard. Saving our lives. Hold on. I drove. Not fast. I'm old and this is a heavy truck, but determined. Through intersections, around corners, heading for the highway. The squad car stayed close. Siren now wailing, other cars pulling over. We looked like criminals fleeing police. Maybe we were. They're gaining, Marcus said. I know. Call 911. Report fake cops. He pulled out his phone, dialed. 911. I'm in a vehicle being chased by men impersonating police officers. Navy blue Ford F-150. I-35 North near downtown Minneapolis. They are trying to kidnap us. Please send real police. He gave them details, location, description. I didn't know if it would help. Helix probably had connections everywhere. The fake squad car pulled alongside, trying to force us off the road. I swerved, clipped their fender. Metal crunched. They fell back. But ahead, I saw another squad car, pulling out from a side street, blocking our path. Trap. Dad, we can't outrun them. I know, but I kept driving straight to the roadblock. The officers ahead stood next to their car, hands up, signaling stop. Were they real or fake? I didn't know. Couldn't risk it. I aimed for the narrow gap between the squad car and a parked SUV. Hold on. We hit the gap at 45 miles per hour. Side mirror clipped the squad car with a crack. Passenger mirror hit the SUV. Glass shattered, but we made it through. The real or fake cops scrambled back into their vehicle, started pursuit. Now we had 2 squad cars chasing us. Marcus was typing frantically on his laptop. I'm triggering the dead man's switch early. If they catch us, at least the information goes out. Don't. We need 46 hours for maximum impact. Give journalists time to verify, prepare stories. If you release now, Helix can flood the news cycle, discredit it, bury it. We stick to the plan. The plan didn't include high-speed chases. A 3rd squad car appeared ahead, pulling out to block. 3 cars now. Coordinated. Professional. These weren't all fake. Some were real cops, responding to our 911 call and seeing us flee. We looked guilty. We looked like the bad guys. I slowed, stopped in the middle of the road. The 3 squad cars surrounded us, 6 officers with weapons drawn. Real cops this time. I could tell by their body language. Professional but scared. They thought we were dangerous. Exit the vehicle. Hands up. Now. Marcus looked at me. Dad, if they arrest us, Helix will get us in custody. We're dead either way. No, we tell the truth. All of it. Right here. Right now. I opened my door slowly, hands visible. Marcus did the same. We stepped out, hands raised. The lead officer approached, weapon trained. On the ground. Face down. I lowered myself carefully, arthritis screaming. Marcus lay beside me. Officers swarmed, handcuffs clicking. They patted us down. Found my revolver. Armed suspect. It's not loaded. I lied. It was. But I needed them calm. I'm 68 years old. I've never fired that gun. I have a carry permit. They pulled us to our feet, separated us. The lead officer, badge said Sergeant Harris, looked at me hard. So, why did you run? We got a call about fake officers. Was that you? Yes. 2 men in a squad car tried to pull us over. They weren't real cops. They work for a company called Helix Analytics. They are trying to kidnap my son. Harris's expression didn't change. Your son. That's my son. Marcus Kellerman has been in hiding for 20 years because Helix Analytics faked his death and has been trying to kill him to cover up corporate surveillance programs. I can prove it. Everything's on a USB drive in my truck. Please, just listen. Harris looked at his partner, then back at me. So, do you have any history of mental illness? My heart sank. They thought I was crazy. Delusional old man, running from imaginary corporate assassins. I'm not crazy. My son is alive. He has evidence. There's a dead man switch set to release information in 46 hours. If you arrest us, if Helix gets to us in custody, the truth dies with us. Dad, stop. Marcus's voice, from where they had him against another squad car. Sergeant, my father is telling the truth. My name is Marcus Kellerman. I was reported dead in 2004. But I'm alive. I've been in witness protection, unofficially, running from a corporation that committed crimes I discovered. I have evidence. It's set to release automatically unless I prevent it. If you take us into custody, Helix Analytics will find a way to get to us. Please, just let us go. In 46 hours, everything goes public. You'll see we were telling the truth. Harris walked over to Marcus. If you're really